We've all been there. You're strapped into your seat, hurtling through the air at 30,000 feet. The drone of the engine and the murmur of conversations fade into the background. Then, it hits you. The anticipation, the curiosity, the faint whiff of mystery. No, not the exotic destination that awaits. Something far more perplexing, something that has fueled countless debates and inspired 1,000 memes. It's the arrival of the airline meal. Is it just me? Or is there something inherently fascinating about the food they serve on planes? Maybe it's the sheer improbability of it all. A hot meal, prepared miles away, somehow finding its way onto your tray table. Or perhaps it's the enduring mystery of why it often tastes so different. We've all heard the horror stories, the whispered legends of rubbery chicken and flavorless vegetables. But is airline food that bad? Or is there more to this culinary conundrum than meets the eye? Buckle up, kids! We're about to embark on a gastronomic journey into the heart of the airline food industry. Get ready for turbulence. We're diving deep into the untold truth about airplane food. Let's face it, the inside of an airplane cabin isn't exactly the ideal environment for a five-star dining experience. It's dry, it's cramped, and the air pressure makes you feel like you've been hitting the tequila shots a little too hard. But did you know that the very air you're breathing could be the culprit behind your less than stellar in-flight meal? Here's the scientific lowdown. At high altitudes, the air pressure inside the cabin drops, and so does the humidity. This double whammy wreaks havoc on your sense of taste. Your taste buds, those tiny sensors on your tongue responsible for detecting sweet, salty, sour, and bitter, become less sensitive. In fact, studies have shown that our ability to perceive salty and sweet flavors plummets by a whopping 30% when we're cruising at 30,000 feet. Think about it. Ever notice how bland your favorite snacks taste on a plane? Or how you find yourself reaching for the salt shaker more often? Blame it on the altitude. To compensate for this sensory sabotage, airlines often resort to adding more salt, sugar, and other flavor enhancers to their meals. But alas, it's a delicate balancing act. Too much, and you end up with a sodium bomb. Too little, and you're left with a culinary experience that's about as exciting as a lukewarm glass of water. It's a tough crowd, these taste buds at altitude. But hey, at least we can finally stop blaming the poor chef back on the ground. So, how does a meal go from a bustling kitchen to your tray table at 35,000 feet? It's a culinary odyssey that involves a complex choreography of logistics, timing, and a whole lot of science. Forget Michelin stars, folks. We're talking industrial-scale food production, where efficiency reigns supreme. Picture this. Giant kitchens resembling something out of a futuristic sci-fi film hum with activity. Cooks, working with military precision, assemble thousands of meals a day. The food is cooked, hopefully, not overcooked, then rapidly chilled to prevent bacterial growth. Next, it's portioned into those iconic little trays, sealed tight, and whisked away to a refrigerated holding area. But the journey's far from over. The meals are loaded onto trucks, then onto planes where they're carefully stored in temperature-controlled compartments. Finally, just when you're starting to think about ordering that extra bag of peanuts, the magic happens. Using specialized ovens, flight attendants work their magic, reheating your meal to a, hopefully, edible temperature. It's a logistical ballet, a symphony of timing and temperature control. And let's not forget the sheer volume of food involved. We're talking millions of meals served every day, all over the world. It's enough to make your head spin faster than a Boeing 747. Now let's talk portion sizes, or lack thereof. We've all experienced that moment of disappointment when the foil lid is peeled back to reveal a meal that could barely satisfy a hungry hamster. So, what's the deal with those miniature portions? Is the airline industry engaged in some grand conspiracy to starve us all? The truth, as always, is a bit more complicated. Airlines, like any business, are constantly trying to cut costs. And let's be real, food, even the mediocre kind, isn't cheap. Smaller portions mean less food waste, which translates to a healthier bottom line for the airlines. It's a simple equation, really. Less food equals more money. But it's not just about the money, folks. Remember those logistical challenges we talked about? Smaller meals are easier to store, reheat, and serve in the cramped confines of an airplane cabin. It's all about efficiency, my friends. And efficiency, as we all know, is the antithesis of a leisurely multi-course feast. So, the next time you find yourself staring down at a minuscule portion of pasta, spare a thought for the bean counters and logistics wizards who made it all possible. They may not be winning any culinary awards, but they're masters of the miniature meal. Section 5. Airline food myths, fact or fiction. Airline food myths. They're as ubiquitous as screaming babies and lost luggage. But how many of these culinary tales are grounded in reality, and how many are nothing more than urban legends? Let's separate fact from fiction, shall we? Myth number 1. All airline food is pre-cooked and frozen. While it's true that most airline meals are prepared in advance, not all of it is frozen solid. Some airlines, particularly those known for their culinary prowess, use a technique called cook-chill, where food is cooked, rapidly chilled, and then reheated on board. This helps to preserve flavor and texture, resulting in a slightly more palatable meal. Myth number 2. They use special ingredients to make the food taste bland. Okay, this one is just plain silly. Airlines aren't using some secret government-issued flavor-zapping agent to dull your taste buds. As we learned earlier, the real culprit is the change in air pressure and humidity that messes with our ability to perceive flavors. Myth number 3. First-class food is always amazing. The eternal allure of the first-class meal. While it's true that airlines tend to up their culinary game for their premium passengers, there's still no guarantee that you'll be treated to a Michelin star experience. Think of it this way. Even the fanciest ingredients and most skilled chefs can't completely overcome the limitations of reheating food at 30,000 feet. Section 6. Culinary heights, airlines that defy expectations. Now, before you swear off airplane food entirely, let's give credit where credit is due. Believe it or not, there are a handful of airlines out there that are actually trying to make in-flight dining a more enjoyable experience. These culinary rebels are challenging the status quo, proving that good food and air travel aren't mutually exclusive. Take Singapore Airlines, for example. This award-winning airline has long been praised for its commitment to quality dining. From its Book the Cook service, which allows passengers to pre-select their meals from an extensive menu, to its partnerships with world-renowned chefs, Singapore Airlines is setting the bar high for in-flight cuisine. Then there's Turkish Airlines, an airline that has turned its in-flight meals into a major selling point. With its dedicated flying chefs, who prepare fresh meals on board, and its focus on showcasing Turkish culinary traditions, Turkish Airlines has transformed a routine flight into a cultural experience. These are just a few examples of airlines that are going above and beyond to elevate the in-flight dining experience. So, the next time you book a flight, do your taste buds a favor and choose an airline that views food as more than just an afterthought. Section 7. The future is flying, sustainable and scrumptious. What does the future hold for the humble airline meal? Will we be forever subjected to rubbery chicken and flavorless vegetables, or is there a glimmer of hope on the horizon? Hold on to your tray tables, folks, because the future of airline food is looking surprisingly appetizing. One trend that's gaining serious traction is sustainability. Airlines are becoming increasingly aware of their environmental impact, and food waste is a major concern. Expect to see more biodegradable packaging, locally sourced ingredients, and a focus on reducing food miles. Another exciting development is the rise of personalization. Just like we can now customize everything from our coffee orders to our workout routines, airlines are starting to offer more personalized dining options. Imagine pre-ordering your meal based on your dietary restrictions, taste preferences, or even your mood. No more bland vegetarian options or mystery meat surprises. And let's not forget about technology. From high-tech ovens that can reheat food to perfection to AI-powered systems that can predict passenger preferences, technology is poised to revolutionize the in-flight dining experience. Section 8. Bon voyage to bland airline food reimagined. So, there you have it. The untold truth about airplane food, from the science behind your taste buds to the future of in-flight dining. It's a world of logistics, innovation, and yes, even a touch of culinary creativity. While it may never rival the experience of dining in a Michelin-starred restaurant, there's reason to be optimistic about the future of airline food. Imagine a world where your in-flight meal is not only edible, but actually enjoyable. A world where sustainable practices and personalized menus are the norm. A world where the only thing bland about your flight is the in-flight movie selection. Okay, maybe that's pushing it. But hey, a foodie can dream, can't he? Can't. Section 9. So is it that bad? We've journeyed through the strange and fascinating world of airline food. We've explored the science, the logistics, the myths, and the future, but the question remains, is it that bad? The answer, my friends, is as complex and nuanced as a well-aged wine. It's a resounding "it depends." Are there airlines out there serving up culinary abominations that would make a garbage disposal gag? Absolutely. But are there airlines that are genuinely trying to provide a decent meal in a challenging environment? You bet. Ultimately, the quality of your in-flight dining experience comes down to a combination of factors, from the airline you choose to your own personal expectations. So, the next time you find yourself faced with that familiar foil-covered tray, take a deep breath, adjust your taste buds, and remember, it could be worse. You could be eating a gas station sandwich in a crowded airport terminal,